WeMentor Inc. is an innovative mentoring community where small business owners can reach their highest performance levels as leaders. Our vision is to revolutionize entrepreneurial leadership and business ownership from the inside out and upside down. There isn't a topic we don't discuss. We focus on bringing out more of who you are and facilitate where you envision yourself to be next. We work through heartbreak, disappointment, betrayal, being stuck, overwhelmed, and burnout in business, in leadership, and in life. We take the time to help you go inward to figure out and heal what you are attracting in your outer world so you can take charge of your future in a new way. We call this our dual innovation journey. When you're ready to heal one of your face-down moments, you begin a challenging yet energizing journey of self-discovery and leadership revolution. In the end, you end up loving your life and loving how you lead and innovate. We believe no one knows your business like you do. No one knows your end users like you need to. No one needs to know about innovation, self-growth, and high leadership performance as much as you and your team do. Today, I'd like to share with you the insights from some of our WeMentor Entrepreneurial Leadership and Mentoring Lab participants. First, you will hear from Annette Rondano. She joined one of my peer mentoring leadership groups in 1998. I mentored her for 3 years. She was in one group at a time for a year at a time. And here's what she learned from our time together.
When I joined the first peer mentoring group, probably in 1997, but it could have been 1998, I had no idea how to run a business. And yet there I was running a business. And when I started in the peer mentoring group, I found out that people who were in businesses that were in no way related to my own business had myriad things that they could contribute to the things that I needed that I could do. Yeah. Resources of all kinds, and also ways of looking at the way I was doing things. That surprised me. It surprised me, but it also, I'm pretty sure that I probably fast forwarded in my business acumen about 5 years every 2 or 3 months by having that mentorship, because I had no idea what I was doing.
And you wrote your first business plan?
I wrote my first business plan. Yeah,
yeah, okay.
That's right. And I got a loan to open a store.
What made Annette decide to join a WeMentor Entrepreneurial Leadership and Mentoring Lab with me in 2017? Why did she pick my program out of all the other offerings out there?
I was feeling kind of stuck, overwhelmed. I've been in business at that point for 20 years and tired of it, and feeling like there wasn't any way to innovate to make it better. And it sort of looked like the resources that you were using, the books, the program, and everything was going to help. And so I said, sign me up.
I'm in.
I'm ready to do it. Right?
Yeah.
Well, because the track record is there. Everything I've ever done with you has been amazing.
Oh, wow. Thanks. So the WeMentor Entrepreneurial Leadership and Mentoring Lab, the 12 months, 24 sessions, a little bit different format, smaller group. You like the in-depth part of it? Do you like working on both? Like, I've always been interested in the personal journey.
Yeah. And
the leadership journey, because I believe that the work that you do internally is reflected in how you run your business.
Yeah.
And so if we're doing the internal work, we also, need to shape it and reshape it in the business.
Right.
And I was really focused on business planning because everybody was needing a business plan in order to get funding and in order to really understand the intricacies a little bit more of how they were doing their business. And also the writing of the plan helped the person to look at it from a different perspective.
Right. So this is almost, what I'm doing in this class is I'm honing in not on a big business plan, right? But on a small, a smaller aspect of my business that isn't working, but that if I were to have a different perspective, actually have a different implementation, I could potentially have my business running better. I mean, there is, in every business, there's probably that one big problem that you feel like you can't ever solve. And I'm always looking for ideas. I go to networking groups. I talk to business owners all the time. And actually, it amazes me how little information I get from other business owners because everybody's just out there floundering. So what I like about this is that I've got tools that I can use and homework. And I think the homework is what really is helping me because it's forcing me to do the things that I can do.
Yeah.
Right, to move forward. So every time I take a little step, it opens up another concept of, where I could go to next and how I could get to the bottom of this. Even the bottom is so deep.
Listen in to hear Jody Stankey of Talent Performance Group express why she decided to join one of my WeMentor Entrepreneurial Leadership and Mentoring Labs.
So I've had my business since 1999, and I've been in many CEO roundtables, both mixed gender and female-only mastermind groups. All have been beneficial and helpful. I feel like the business has been successful. I've always been goal-oriented, have had business plans. I'm a believer in systems and performance measures and all of that. And so in the last few years, I think you kind of come to a point where in the work that I do, I talk with my clients all the time about how your life isn't really, there's not balance. You're integrating your life and there's always going to be some kind of give or take. And it seems that I finally was like experiencing what I was preaching and talking about. I wasn't living. Like I was the exception to that rule. And I was completely ignoring really a big part of that integrated life. My focus was on my business at the expense of, other things.
Yeah.
And so at the time that we met, I just noticed that that was affecting the business. And it was not joyful for me. I could no longer see the vision. I was just kind of stuck in this place of rolling along, but not really striving or achieving and not sure what I should do. I just could not get clarity around it. And it was in that space for long enough when we were in our conversation about, this lab. And I think what finally had me say yes is that I know that I've tried a lot of groups.
Yeah.
I know what those are like. I'm a researcher and a reader and I go to conferences, and so I felt like I was at a point where I was doing everything I knew how to do and I wasn't getting out of this place that I was in. So my yes just came from, I'm curious about what this dual innovation might be and what I might learn. It sounded like it was something maybe that I hadn't experienced before and it could contribute in a way that I didn't know how. So I came into it just with openness and interest and curiosity. I like that it's organized, there's a system in place, but yet there's enough freedom to have us each of our members go through our own journey and our own path, but a venue for sharing what it is that we're experiencing and getting feedback along the way. So I think that's the difference, is that there's actually a program that we're following that's guiding us and leading us. And we're each traveling along that path at the speed that we need to travel it.
Yeah.
But the program supports that. I mean, what I didn't want and what I was concerned that it might be is just like we're sitting around fluffing stuff, not getting anything useful out of it. And I was thinking I don't need to just sit around with a group of people and chit chat or, just talk about my feeling. I just wasn't really interested in that. And this is not that.
Right.
So that's kind of fun, exciting, and interesting. I love that we can bring a group of people together that are like-minded in so many ways, and we might not experience our life together in any other way outside of this room, but in this room, we're totally a collective.
You may wonder what the difference is between our WeMentor Entrepreneurial Leadership and Mentoring Lab and other mastermind networking and CEO roundtable groups. Hear Jody eloquently explain her experience. She's been in our lab program for 8 months.
I think that the way the schedule is set up is really helpful and useful because a lot of the CEO roundtable programs you meet on a monthly basis. And sometimes I don't think that that's often enough because if you're going to do some work to create change, you need to stay on track.
Yeah.
And, if we miss a 2-week session of homework, we can't go for too long with missing, so then we can't catch up because it's unrealistic. So that accountability built in with the schedule, I think, is useful for us to stay in the conversation instead of going away and then remembering when we come back together. I mean, it's just all of a sudden the conversation we're having here just kind of becomes part of something you naturally are thinking about in your day-to-day.
Annette Rondano chimes into our conversation to reinforce what she has found valuable in her WeMentor Entrepreneurial Leadership and Mentoring Lab experience.
Another interesting part of the program is the resources that you use, that you draw on, including not just including the design work, but also Brene Brown, that and other in the process. We're learning about other businesses and how they're handling the same sort of problems in different contexts. And it is really interesting to be constantly reading and reflecting on other businesses that are completely different from ours, even though they're not here. So it's as if you've created an opportunity for us to be mentored by other businesses' experiences. By bringing those to light. I would never read about some of these. I would never read these things because I don't read business journals myself. I probably should, but I don't. So thank you for bringing them to me so that I can see, some of the things that they're doing. I think that is really, really valuable.
Great.
So.
Annette and Jody put into perspective so clearly the trusting and accepting environment we have co-created so they can be the human beings behind the business who are producing something unique and valuable to their clients.
When I first came to WeMentor so very long ago, one of the things that you used to say, and I don't know if you still say it, but you used to say the tagline was growing yourself while you grow your business. Mm-hmm. And so I've never been able to, kind of let go of that. Oh, it's going to make me cry. Oh, I know. How weird is that? But it's so important to me that you let us be who we are in our business so that you don't feel like, I don't feel like what I'm doing here is only business. I feel like I am growing myself while I'm growing my business. And so it's really comforting actually to know that I don't have to be this like automatron, business person who doesn't have any feelings and isn't going through anything, sometimes the stuff that I'm experiencing is because of my business, but sometimes it's because of my life. And it's nice not to have to separate them. It's nice to be able to see that I am both of those things as a business owner. I am both a human being and somebody who's attempting to produce something where people literally can't see the human being behind it, but it's a very human business, So I want the people who come to my business to feel like they're having a human experience. And I feel like when I'm here, I really get that I can be the human behind the business and that my business can still be shiny and accountable and all of the things that you want a business to be so that people can't see the messy me behind the business living my messy life.
I love that about it too. I love that about it too. There's no judgment. There's no, we're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
I never come in with this, I have to look good and make sure everything looks good today. I have to be perfect. Yeah, it really is an environment where you can just be yourself and have that be okay. And still not take anything away from the success that we've had or the achievement that we've had, or, you know, it's still all there.
Right.
Yeah. It is unique.
It is unique.
And we always have a box of Kleenexes
Oh,
close
thank you.
by.
That's right.
Okay.
And I've seen men have emotional experiences in the WeMentor model as well. And so it's not, you know, we all have our big feelings. And I think it's unique being a woman in business. There are a lot of us out there. But I do think that that women uniquely feel deeply about what they're doing in business, and we have a tendency to project ourselves as though we start out under the assumption that we're doing it all wrong. And it's so much fun to come to a place where I can innovate and look at my business from a whole new perspective and still be able to be a woman and still be in it with all of my feelings and, you know, all of my life behind it.
Wow.
Yeah. And still have the challenge. You know, we're still asking each other those tough questions. Have you thought about this? Does that really make sense? What about that? I mean,
Yeah.
we're still.
Don't do that.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Not a good idea. Don't. Yeah, still having the freedom to really, you know, be smart about what we're doing and learn from each other, and the, you know, use the brain power around the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And the feedback is amazing because you really do need feedback. When you're innovating, the thing you need most is feedback. And where else are you going? You will not find another safe place to say, this is what I'm doing, and make a presentation about it and have other people come and give you honest feedback about it and not feel like they're going to say the wrong thing, because sometimes we need to hear those hard things. And this is an incredibly safe place to do that. But what's amazing is that it's an incredibly safe place to move your business forward, you know, with all of the tools to do that.
Yeah. Well, the whole reason that I have stayed in business since 1992 is because of people like Jody and Annette and so many other people that I've worked with, thousands over the years, is because they inspire me. They're doing something incredible with their lives, and it's very difficult to solve some of these problems that we're trying to solve in our business when so many things are changing around us. And we just have so many concerns about technology and our safety and security and how do we keep doing our work and how do we keep growing and learning and shifting. And so I really just want to keep doing this and keep innovating and developing these programs because it's working. And people need to know that they can bring themselves to work and that it's okay, and that they're a valued human being, and that they're not a machine who is creating jobs for everybody else. And we've got big lives, we've got pain that we're working through too, and we all need to work this in together. And that's why it's so important to do the peer mentoring. Because we learn, I'm not here to tell you how to live your lives and run your businesses. I may have some suggestions and ideas about it, but there isn't one way to run their business, right? No one has one way to run their business and it's successful. That's why there's so many consultants out there.
Yeah, right.
And coaches. But we need help. You know, we're raising our businesses. We need a village. And we need the right people, and we need less people who are telling us what to do and more people out there trying to help us to develop and bring out more of what we need to be doing. So I want to keep doing this. I want to help a lot of you out there. I know that you don't need to be isolated, and there is a program for you. And WeMentor Entrepreneurial Leadership and Mentoring Labs could be your answer to solve big problems and do great work in the world.